Hello YouTube family! I'm so excited to be back after I think it was a 2-month hiatus. It's a little bit too technical to get into why I was gone for those 2 months on here because I want to show you what I have for you today. And let's face it, you guys want to see what I have for you today. You don't want me to get into all of that here. But if you would like to get to know me a little bit more and you would like to find out what's going on in my life that caused me to be absent from YouTube for 2 months right after I started my YouTube channel, well then you can go to my social media, which is linked down below, especially Instagram, and there I explained everything that's been going on and why I had to take a break from YouTube for a while. But I'm back now and I'm excited to bring you Valentine's Day. Who doesn't love Valentine's Day? I know I love Valentine's Day just because I love love, and I put a lot of emphasis on love in my life, and I put a lot of emphasis on forgiveness and for just wrapping people in love, and I believe showing love will get you love in return. And just showing love out of the goodness of your heart without asking for anything in return will bring you many more blessings than you could have ever asked for. So I'm excited to bring you what I have for Valentine's Day this year. And it's so much bigger than what I've done in previous years simply because I'm on YouTube and I've got all these projects going in and out of my head, and watching some of the gals out there that are so good at what they do. They inspire me so much that I'm excited to do my own version of crafts and bring them to you. So with that being said, if you are new here, welcome. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, and that little bell to notify you every single time that I upload a new video. And if you're returning, welcome back. I love that you're here and I hope you'll stick around. Let's get to it. So here I was making a 2-tiered tray, and I didn't have any of that ballet slipper in the Waverly paint. And so what I did was mix some liqueur with the cashew that I had on hand, and I was going for that light ballet, but because I'm shopping my stash and I just had a little bit of the cashew left, I kind of came out with this like bubblegum pink, which was okay. It turned out beautiful and it was still very, very Valentine-y, which is what I was going for. So I'm just pulling all the stickers off of my items, and I cleaned them really good with alcohol so that the paint would adhere better. And I'm taking one of those trays that they had a leftover from Christmas. I use this in my Christmas display this year because I always have a candy theme. And here's a little tip from me to you is make sure the holder in the middle, or the little stand that you're going to use to hold your tiers apart, that you glue that down before you paint your tray. Then you won't have to go back and like I did and remove the paint before you glue it on. And I'm just using E6000 for the permanent hold and the hot glue for the immediate hold. And then I'm going and I'm painting the top tray. Now this is just one of those cake trays. It's like a cake plate, and I believe it comes with a little plastic stand you pop on the bottom. You find it in the party section where they have all the clear party dishes at the Dollar Tree. But I love this for the top of tiered trays because it has that beautiful little ruffle that I think is so feminine that goes around the bottom of the tray. And when you paint it just right, it comes out just beautifully. So before I went ahead and put the top of the tray on, I went ahead and painted the stand in the middle so that it would all match, and then I just went ahead and distressed that top tray just a little bit, just to make that little edge just pop. And as you can see there, don't paint the bottom of your tray, but make sure that you do get that little ruffle edge around it. And then here it is. I took it outside and I sprayed it with some matte I think it's matte varnish that I had in a spray can so that it would still give it a flat finish, or it has a little bit of a sheen to it, but not that much. And then I went ahead and put these little fairy houses on there. Now, aren't these just darling? It's called the Candy Carnival, and I found this in the garden section at the Dollar Tree. And I always pick up these little fairies anyway, and their little houses, because I put them in the garden in the front of my house, and my granddaughters just love playing with them and using their imaginations. But with this one, I thought it was so perfect for a Valentine's Day tray, and it just came out so perfect with this tray, and I love it. Now this little heart garland is so cute. I love these little wooden garlands. I think they're like ornaments that the Dollar Tree is putting out these days, and they've really upped their game. And at first I started painting the whole thing, and I wound up doing where I just painted around the word love in the middle. And the reason why is because when I painted it all one color, it tended to blend in too much. But I loved the natural wood look versus the color in the background. And I'm just using some markers here that I bought off of Amazon, and I'll link them below. They are double-sided. They've got a larger tip on one side and then a finer tip on the other side, which I do a lot of coloring and a lot of artwork with markers. So these are working for me. I want to try Arteza, but these are what I bought at the time, so these are what I had. And so I took two different kinds of the heart ornaments. I took the ones that said love, and I took the ones that had these little cutouts in the middle, and I just varied on coloring them. I just colored the different stripes, different colors on different ornaments, and I just varied back and forth between red, hot pink, and like a lighter pink. And then I had this jute left over from, oh Lord, it was probably 2 years now, but they used to carry it at the Dollar Tree, and I think sometimes they still do, but it's pink. It's actually jute, but it's pink. So it doesn't look like yarn, but it's not the natural color of jute either. I'm sorry. And so what I did was I just went ahead and I used 8 ornaments, 4 of the love and 4 of the hearts with the cutouts in them. And I just switched off with the colors. Like I used 2 of the red that said love, and then I used a hot pink and a light pink, and then I just, kind of changed up the colors on the other 4 hearts with the cutouts. And then I went ahead, and I don't know what happened to the footage of me cutting out these little strips of ribbon here. I don't know exactly what happened there, because my son, who edits my videos, and I looked for it everywhere, and I know that I filmed it, but who knows, these things happen. So what I wound up doing was I cut so many of each of these beautiful ribbons that they have at the Dollar Tree this year. And it's best if you use, for this type of application, that you use the ribbon that doesn't have the wire in it. Now the burlap ribbon that I used, it did have a wire, and when I cut it, I just pulled the wire out. But as you can tell, it's still a little stiff, so it doesn't hang like the other ones do. But I went ahead and I have, I think, 2 of each of the ribbons in each section. So I think they were like 6 inches. I believe they were 6 inches long that I cut, and I wish I would have cut them a little bit longer because I wanted them to hang a little differently. So I probably should have cut at least 8 or 9 inches, but at the time I just started out cutting 6, so I cut them all in 6 inches and I just went with it. So if you want them to hang a little bit longer on your string, I would suggest cutting them longer at like 8 or 9 inches. So with that, I just, like I said, went ahead and went with that. And in the end, I liked how it looked. I loved the way that it came out. It was kind of that shabby chic that I was going for, a little bit rustic, a little bit shabby. And so one of the tips that I will give you to creating a garland is hang it up wherever you want to hang it. So let's say you're hanging it on your fireplace like I did here, your mantle, go ahead and hang up your string first, and then start placing your items, start tying on your items as you go. That way you can kind of get an eye for where it goes, and you can measure where the center is, and so on and so forth. And that way you don't have to try to go back and fix it. If you try fixing it somewhere else, like let's say on your craft table, then once you take it to where you're going, it kind of all falls apart. So this is really simple, really easy. Anybody can do it. Kids can do it. It'd be a great project for kids. And it's just one that I think turned out just so cute. And for my last project, I have this little sweetheart wreath. And I debated over using this nautical rope from the Dollar Tree or painting, or I even had some material that I thought about using, but it wasn't quite wide enough. And what I wanted was to try to cover up the green on that floral wreath that you see laying there. And that's just one of the little wreaths that you get from the Dollar Tree. Everything I used here was from the Dollar Tree. And I thought, well, I'd seen Heidi do this from Heidi Sambo, and I thought, well, I could do that. That'd be easy. It wasn't. It was way more time consuming than I thought. But it did give me a beautiful base to work off of, and I can change it later and make it into another wreath. Like if I want to take the hearts off later, I can do that. And I've already got the work done of wrapping my wreath in this nautical rope. And I did like the idea where she says to unravel the rope, because it comes with three strands raveled together to make that thick rope look. And so I didn't want all that bulkiness. And so I wound up using 2 or 1.5 of the nautical ropes. And that means I used about almost 6 strands of that rope, which means that I unraveled 2 of those ropes. So it took me quite a bit of time to do that. But once I got it done, I thought it looked sweet and kind of shabby chic. And I don't get to do a lot of shabby chic projects in my house. So this is one time of the year which I get to kind of shabby chic it up a little bit. And so I thought it was just cute. But if you want to use, you can also use felt. They sell that at the Dollar Tree, or ribbon. If you have white ribbon, you could wrap that around your wreath form. And so what I went ahead and did was just staggered these little foam hearts that they get from the Dollar Tree. I guess they're not foam. These are the felt hearts that you get at the Dollar Tree. And I like them better than the paper hearts because they are stiffer and they just look better. To me, they look very well made and very pretty, and I like the little pretty detail where the little hearts that are cut out around it. So they are very lacy, very girly, very feminine to me, and I like that look. So I just staggered them. As you can see, I put the white hearts on the bottom and the pink hearts on top. And because I wind up using 9 hearts here, that's an odd number. And in order for it to be pink, white, pink, white, pink, white, then it has to be an even number or it's going to come out funky. So I played around with this for a while, and I finally came up with the idea to fold a pink heart in half and fold a white heart in half, and then just glue them half and half together for the top of the wreath. And then that solves my problem so that I'm still getting my color coordination and I'm not having to go white on white, pink on pink. And then you could leave it at that. I thought it looked darling with just the hearts on it, but I went ahead and had these stickers from the Dollar Tree that had these little cupcakes, and I'm going for kind of like a cupcake sweet theme, shabby chic kind of theme with my whole Valentine's Day theme this year. So I thought it would be cute to put these little felt stickers on there, and I thought it just took it that one step over the top without having a bow on it or anything like that. I just thought it was sweet and simple and would look beautiful anywhere. I have it on my fireplace here because I don't have my dining room set up yet. It's still in the stages of getting my Valentine tree together. So I'm going to probably move it into my dining room where I'm going to have most of my Valentine Day stuff displayed this year. But for now, it looks sweet hanging there with my little truck and with my little heart garland. And those are the roses that I got for my birthday in January. So I just think that it turned out just absolutely darling. Well, there you have it, my very first Valentine's Day projects of 2021. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I enjoyed bringing them to you. And like I said, go ahead and click the links below and follow me on my social media for more insight into my life and to what I'm doing and what I'll be bringing you next. And stick around. I hope you guys will click that bell and notify every single time that I upload a new video, because I'm going to be coming out with some springtime videos. I've got a lot of stuff planned to be coming out in the next few weeks, and hopefully after Valentine's Day, I'm crossing my fingers, I'm going to be bringing you guys some home improvement videos and just some different chapters on the YouTube video that I think you'll be interested in. And with that, goodbye.